Hi, this is Vanessa with Designs by Vanessa. Today's tutorial is on this waffle slouch. So this is the child size. So let's grab your materials. You will need super bulky weight yarn, category 6. I'm using this beautiful teal color. It is, I got it at Michael's. It's Loops and Threads, Lush Alpaca. It's so soft and nice to work with. It's 86 yards, and again, it's teal, but you can definitely use a different super bulky weight yarn. So you will also need a 16-inch circular needle. I'm using, so you'll need a US 13, which is a 9mm. And for the top portion, you can switch it to US 15, which is the 10mm. For this tutorial, I'm just going to keep it at the US 13 size. Okay, so now you will also need a pair of scissors. So you'll need a tapestry needle with a large eye. And you'll need a tape measure to measure the height of your beanie. And then you need a stitch marker. I do have a do-it-yourself tutorial for this stitch marker. So I'll go ahead and link that on the corner of the screen. So starting with a slip knot, you want to cast on 41 stitches. I'm using the long tail cast on method, and I'll link a slower tutorial for that if you need assistance with it. But go ahead and cast on a total of 41 stitches, and your slip knot counts as your first stitch. Before you join your stitches, lay it down and make sure it's not twisted. And then I'm going to join with the invisible joining method. So slip the stitch on your left hand needle purlwise, like that, and then grab this stitch here and pass it over that stitch you just brought over, okay, and drop it. And then you want to place that first stitch that you slipped back on your left hand needle. Okay, now you just pull on the strands to tighten it, and then grab your stitch marker and place it on your right hand needle, and then we can start round 1 of the brim. So for round 1, you just want to repeat knit 1, purl 1, which is a 1 by 1 ribbing. So knit the first stitch and then purl the second stitch. So yarn in the front and then purl your second stitch. Okay, and then just repeat that all the way around. Knit 1 and then purl 1. When you reach the end of the round, you just want to slip your stitch marker over and then continue to knit 1 and purl 1 around. And so you're just repeating the last round, and you want to repeat that for 7 rounds. This will be the height of your brim, so if you wanted a shorter brim, you can knit less rounds, but I like to knit approximately 7 rounds for the child size. Okay, so I've knitted a total of 7 rounds, actually 6 rounds, because the cast on round I count as 1 round. And so at this point, if you'd like, you can switch over to the US 15, which is a 10 millimeter. And what that does is it loosens the top a little bit. If you want a looser top portion of your beanie, I'm just going to keep it at the 9 millimeter. So let's start round 1. And for round 1, all you're doing is knitting all of the stitches all the way around. So go ahead and knit all of the stitches until you reach the end of the round. Okay, so I have about 3 stitches left, and I'm at the end of my round 1. So for round 2, you're going to repeat every 4 stitches. Okay, so you're going to knit 2. So go ahead and knit the first stitch, and then knit the second stitch. Now you're going to yarn over. So you want to wrap the yarn around your needle once. So it just wraps around your needle. If you are a traditional English knitter, you just wrap your yarn like this. Okay, so basically you just want to wrap the strand around, and you're going to knit 2 stitches. So knit 2, and then grab the yarn over stitch and pass it over the 2 stitches you just knitted, the 2 stitches that you just knitted. And so it creates that strand that goes across the bottom. So that's the repeat. Knit 2, yarn over, and then you want to knit 2, and then you want to grab the yarn over stitch. So right here is the yarn over stitch. You want to pass it over the 2 knitted stitches and drop it down. Okay, again, knit 2, 1, 2, and yarn over, knit 2 again, and then grab the yarn over stitch, okay, and pass it over the 2 knitted stitches. So if you're familiar with the bamboo stitch, this is similar to it. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Knit 2, yarn over, knit 2 more, and then pass the yarn over stitch over the 2 knitted stitches. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around. Knit 2, yarn over, knit 2, and then pass the yarn over stitch over the 2 knitted stitches. Okay, repeat that all the way around. Okay, so here's my last 4 stitches. I'm going to knit 2, yarn over, knit 2, and then I'll go ahead and grab the yarn over stitch. Okay, so this right here, and then pass it over the 2 knitted stitches. And I'm done with round 2, so move your stitch marker. So for round 3, you're just knitting all stitches like you did with round 1. So the odd number rounds are going to be knitting all stitches around. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 3 and we're ready to start round 4. And this is the last round of the 4-round repeat. So if you look here, we started with a knit 2 on round 2. So we're going to start with the yarn over and knit 2, and then passing the yarn over stitch over the 2 knitted stitch, and then we're going to knit 2. So now we're reversing the repeat that we did in round 2. So right there, how it's kind of staggered now, So yarn over, knit 2, pass the yarn over stitch over the 2 knitted stitches, and knit 2. So that's the repeat. Okay, yarn over, knit 2, pass the yarn over stitch over the 2 knitted stitches, and then knit 2. So repeat that all the way around. Okay, so I'm finishing up round 4. So that's the end of the 4 round repeat. You want to repeat rounds 1 through 4 until your beanie measures approximately 8.5 to 9 inches from the bottom of the brim to the needles. And then we'll be ready to work our decrease rounds. Okay, so I'm ready to measure my piece. It's about 8.5 inches. Okay. And you can adjust the slouch by working more or less rounds. Okay, and then you want to end after round 2. So I just completed round 2. And I'm ready to start round 1 of decrease. You want to knit 2 and then knit 2 together. So these 2 stitches here, you want to insert your needle through both stitches and knit 2 together. Let me show you that again because I snagged my yarn. So these 2 stitches, insert your needle and knit both of these stitches together. Okay, so that's the repeat. You just knit 2 and then knit 2 together. Okay, repeat that all the way around. Okay, so for round 2 of decrease, you want to work a yarn over and then knit 2. So this is similar to what you've been working with, and then grab the yarn over and slide it over. But right here was the knit 2 together, so you're just going to knit 1. And then now you yarn over, knit 2, grab the yarn over stitch, pass it over the 2 knitted stitches, and then knit 1 because this was the previous knit 2 together, so you only have 1 stitch. Yarn over and then knit these 2 stitches and then pass the yarn over stitch over the 2 knitted stitches and knit 1. Yarn over, knit 2, pass the yarn over stitch over the 2 knitted stitches and knit 1. So that's the repeat all the way around. And at any time, if your stitches get too tight, switch to your double pointed needles. I'm going to be using the modified magic loop method, and I can link to a tutorial for that as well. Okay, so repeat that all the way around. Okay, so I'm knitting my last stitch. I'm moving my stitch marker over. For round 3 of decrease, you want to knit 2 together and then knit 1. That's the repeat around. So repeat, knit 2 together and knit 1. Okay, so work that all the way around. Okay, so I'm working my next round of decrease. As you can see, my stitches are getting really tight. I'm using the modified magic loop method. So for this round, you're just going to knit all stitches. Okay, so knit all stitches all the way around. All right, so for the final round of decreases, you're just going to repeat, knit 1 and then knit 2 together. Okay, so that's it. Just knit 1 and then knit 2 together. Okay, so repeat that all the way around. All right, now we're ready to cut your yarn and leave a tail so you can weave in the ends and complete your work. And weave it through the tapestry needle. And then you want to insert the needle into the remaining stitches as if to knit. So slide your stitches to the end, to the tips, and then just insert your needle as if to knit and pull it off of your knitting needles. So do that all the way around. Okay, so I'm finishing up here, last 2 stitches, and then just pull to tighten it. Okay, cinch it up on the top, and then you want to fasten off and secure on the inside of your hat. So flip it over and then run your needle through the stitch nearby. Wrap your yarn around twice and hold it at the base and then pull it tight to sort of tie it up, and then just weave in your end as desired and cut off the yarn. And then don't forget to weave in your beginning tail as well. So here's my tail. I'm going to run it through my tapestry needle, and then I'm going to weave it in on the inside. All right, you're done. Add a pom-pom if you like. I'll link some videos for the tutorials for my poms. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hope you come back again. Thank you.